One moment, one decision, 1 second that would be burned into the memory of millions. Zinedine Zidane, the artist of the impossible, the architect of dreams, stood under the glaring lights of a World Cup final with the weight of a nation on his shoulders and a lifetime of battles inside his heart. In the span of a single heartbeat, he would choose anger over glory, and the world would never see him the same way again. How does a man who touched the stars with his talent, who embodied grace, power, and poetry on the pitch, allow it all to collapse in a storm of rage? Was it madness? Was it destiny? Or was it simply the final, inevitable act of a life spent fighting for respect? This is not just the story of a footballer. This is the story of a boy from the forgotten streets of Marseille, and who in his final act reminded us all. To understand the final headbutt, we must first understand the legend behind it. Born from concrete dreams, Zinedine Zidane was born in 1972 in La Castellane, a tough, marginalized neighborhood in Marseille, France. His parents, immigrants from Algeria, carried with them dreams of a better life, dreams that often collided with the harsh realities of poverty, prejudice, and struggle. In La Castellane, life was not easy. It demanded toughness, resilience, and above all, hope. Zidane found his escape in a simple leather ball. Day after day, he played on cracked concrete playgrounds, his bare feet dancing across the rough surface. Football wasn't just a game. It was a way out. It was survival. It was the first language Zidane truly mastered. From the very start, his style was different. Where others ran, Zidane glided. Where others forced, Zidane flowed. His grace on the ball didn't come from structured drills or expensive academies. It came from improvisation, from instinct, from necessity. The boy who grew up dribbling between broken cars and graffiti-stained walls was destined for something greater, even if no one could quite see it yet. The awakening of a prodigy. At the age of 14, Zidane's life took a turn when he was scouted by Ace Khan. He left home, leaving behind the only world he had ever known, to chase a dream that felt both impossible and inevitable. At Cannes, Zidane struggled at first. He was shy, introverted, and often homesick. But every time he touched the ball, the world seemed to hold its breath. His coaches quickly realized that he was something special, not just talented, but transcendent. By the time he moved to Bordeaux, Zidane was no longer a hidden gem. He was dazzling crowds with his vision, his impossible turns, his ability to make defenders look foolish with a single touch. Offers began to flood in, and in 1996, the grand stage beckoned. Juventus Football Club, the Maestro of Turin. In Italy, football is not just a game, it is religion. And in Turin, playing for Juventus, Zidane would be baptized by fire. Serie A in the 1990s was a brutal league, a chessboard of tactical warfare and bone-crunching tackles. Yet Zidane thrived. He adapted, refined his craft, and began sculpting his legend. He led Juventus to back-to-back league titles. He won the Ballon d'Or in 1998, recognizing him as the best player in the world. His name was spoken in reverent tones, his face adorned magazine covers, his style celebrated across continents. But Zidane remained elusive. Fame never seemed to sit comfortably on his shoulders. He was a reluctant superstar, a man who let his feet do the talking. Still, the best was yet to come, and it would come not in club colors, but draped in the tricolor of France. A nation's savior. The 1998 World Cup was more than a tournament for France. It was a nation's opportunity to heal, to unite a country divided by race, religion, and history. And in that moment, France needed a hero. Zidane answered the call. In the final against Brazil, on the grandest stage imaginable, Zidane rose not once, but twice, heading home 2 goals from corner kicks. Simple goals, but monumental in their meaning. France triumphed 3-0. The streets overflowed with joy, and Zidane, the son of Algerian immigrants, became the face of a new multicultural France. He was not just a champion, he was a symbol of hope, of possibility, of unity. The price of greatness, with fame came pressure. With success came expectation. Zidane had climbed to the summit, but staying there was its own battle. He moved to Real Madrid in 2001, setting a world record transfer fee. He became the centerpiece of the Galácticos, a team of superstars assembled to dominate world football. Among legends like Figo, Ronaldo, and Beckham, Zidane remained the quiet conductor. His most iconic moment came in 2002 in the Champions League final against Bayer Leverkusen, when he scored one of the greatest goals in football history. A left-footed volley, hanging in the air like a painting, timeless and perfect. Yet Zidane was never a man completely at peace. He carried his past with him, its weight unseen but always present. He played with an elegance that often masked the storm brewing underneath. That storm would one day break. Chapter 6: The Last Dance. By 2006, Zidane was 34 years old, slower, more deliberate. He had announced that the World Cup in Germany would be his final act before retiring. Many doubted he could still command the stage. They were wrong. In a series of breathtaking performances, Zidane led France past Spain, then stunned the mighty Brazil, and finally orchestrated a victory over Portugal to reach the final. Each game seemed like a gift, a reminder that magic was still possible, that genius could defy time itself. And so it came to be that Zidane would stand once more in a World Cup final, 120 minutes away from ending his career as he had always played. Victorious. Chapter 7: The Fall. The final against Italy was brutal, tense, and unrelenting. Zidane opened the scoring with a bold Panenka penalty, so audacious it seemed an act of supreme confidence or madness. But as the minutes dragged on, the tension built. The match grew ugly. Fouls, insults, provocations. The undercurrents of battle that only those on the field truly feel. In the 110th minute, as tempers flared, Marco Materazzi whispered words to Zidane. Words that have since become the stuff of legend and speculation. Something inside Zidane snapped. He turned, and with all the weight of his childhood battles, of his immigrant struggles, of every insult ever swallowed, he drove his head into Materazzi's chest. The world gasped. The referee reached for the red card. Zinedine Zidane's career was over, not in triumph, but in infamy. Chapter 8: What Remains. As Zidane walked past the World Cup trophy, refusing to look, refusing to bow, a strange silence filled the world. Was it anger? Was it heartbreak? Or was it something deeper? An understanding that greatness is never clean, never simple. Zidane had always been two men, the artist and the fighter, the dreamer and the warrior. On that night, under the crushing weight of expectation and insult, the fighter had won. But it did not erase everything that had come before. It only made the story human. Chapter 9: The Enduring Legacy. In the years that followed, Zidane returned to football not as a player, but as a masterful coach, leading Real Madrid to unprecedented glory. 3 consecutive Champions League titles. Yet for all the trophies, all the accolades, Zidane's story endures because of its imperfection. He was never a flawless icon. He was something rarer. He was real. He carried the hopes of millions. He soared to unimaginable heights. He stumbled, and he kept going. Zidane's genius was not just in his touch, or his vision, or his technique. It was in his humanity. He showed us that even the greatest are vulnerable, that even the most elegant can be broken, that even legends can fall, and in falling, they become eternal. Zinedine Zidane's story reminds us, true greatness is not about never falling, it's about rising every time we do. If you found this journey as powerful as we did, don't forget to leave a like. It helps us bring more legendary stories to life. Subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the legends who shaped the world, and let us know in the comments. Which moment of Zidane's career will you never forget? Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay inspired.